his head because, you know, Ron's looking to turn him over. And now he's pinning down his arm with his knee, trying to open up and throw some punches. Ron's doing a really good job of, you know, not sitting still too long.
Now Peak reining in some left hands, as you're right, Joe, doing a good job of neutralizing his right arm, almost like in a crucifix position here. Yeah, he's throwing those left hands, and honestly, they're not doing too much damage, but, you know, Fields is in a bad position, and it's distracting. What is his best escape route, if any, from your vantage point now, Joe? What should Fields be trying to do from this vantage point? I know you're up against a great fighter like Peak, but what would you be attempting to do here? He needs to take his left arm. He needs to get it back closer to his body, and basically like he's going for a bear hug underneath the hands. He needs to get his hands back in position. And he's really losing a lot of energy when he's struggling down there. Right. And Peak continues to rein in those left hands. Fans responding here. Peak from Victoria, Fields from Dayton, Ohio. And he continues to, it's maybe not the most damaging of blows, but now those elbows are damaging the fight. Will stop. I was going to say it's the accumulation of damage, but those elbows were definitely some vicious strikes there, Joe. Yeah, those looked a little bit more damaging than the original punches. You've known Chris Peak for a long time as well, Joe. Like we say, I mean, a record for a fighter in MMA really doesn't always tell the story. This is a guy with a lot of heart, a lot of what you call fighting spirit, and good things are still on the horizon for Chris Peak. Absolutely, he just took out one of the tougher fighters from the U.S. And you know, this is a game where you can learn really fast, and if people don't look out, you come back and you can do amazing things in a really short time. All right, Duke, why don't you take us through the replay here?
Well, here we got he's mounted on top, trying to go for full mount, but as you said earlier, trying to do the crucifix, crossing him down. He's got that right arm pinned of killing Fields, and actually killing isn't doing any killing tonight. He's actually getting killed with those elbows from the top position. Just a brutal position to be in. Got one arm pinned on each shot, and you just get beat down. Like I like to call it, it's the older brother beatdown.
A frustrating night for Killing Fields, but a great performance for Chris Mountain of Mayhem Peak, improving to 2-1 in King of the Cage. As we take a look at the takedown that started it all. Nice shot in the double leg. And able to escape. Go ahead, Joe.
That's a really nice reversal right there. Just taking full advantage of his opponent's weight being off balance and just helping him along the way and getting on top. Really good job.
One more time. Referee Vern Gorman stops this bout at 2:32 of the first round. Tap out due to accumulation of punches. The winner, Chris Mountain of Mayhem Peak.
We're going to ask Joe Dirksen to stick around for just a minute. Right now, of course, Chris Mountain of Mayhem Peak is going to be talking to Keith Crawford inside the cage, but we do want to just get a quick few comments from Joe Dirksen about what's coming up in his career. But right now, as you see, Ron Killing Fields dejected, going back to his dressing room. Chris Peak is standing by, talking to the chairman of the cage.
Chris, I walked by in the hall today. You told me you were made for TSN. You were going to be a Canadian superstar here on national TV. Say something to Canadians. What's up, Canada?
Come on, that's what I like to hear. How'd you like the fight? Nice. Well, glad that you guys all came out tonight. You know, MMA's getting exposure all over Canada now. Thanks TSN, thanks King of the Cage. Hope you guys come up for the next ones.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Mountain of Mayhem. One more time. Let's hear it. Let's go. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Chris, the Mountain of Mayhem. Peace.
Training with Joe Dirksen is awesome. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's been training with Giuseppe Natale for his kickboxing. He brings a wealth of experience to the room. He's able to really explain things really well and break it down. He recognizes that I'm not going to be a big striker. He knows that I'm going to be a ground guy, and we've really tailored my style of fighting to set up the shots off the strikes and not look to stand with guys too often.
I'm Michael Giracci. I'm Il Leone, the Lion Italian. I'm fighting tonight, Kevin. No one wanted to fight you because your experience. You know, I'm taking that step. It's going to make me or break me. Hopefully we can stay up on our feet, because I'd rather not go on the ground, because I'd rather have the people entertained. And I'll see you tonight, and watch yourself.
My wrestling background brings a lot to the cage. Wrestlers do well in cage. We get to push the guys against the cage and use the wall to take them down. I was a national champion in '96. I was on the national team that year as well. And I definitely think that wrestling is more suited for a cage than it is for a ring.
I'm a left-handed fighter. I've had, what, 90, 100 amateur fights and a few pro fights. And I'm undefeated as a pro, but I decided to hang them up a couple years ago, and I'm getting old. I'm not getting too old, 31 years old. But I thought I'd do this fight for a lost friend, and now I've really got an interest in it. I found myself doing well at it. Cardio, I got to pick up a little more, but it's in the ground. But you know, I'll give it a good effort, like I said, and see what I can accomplish.
I've fought boxers before. I fought a guy that was 6-time Gold Gloves boxer out of Iowa, and it didn't slow me down any. I went out, I hit him, I took him down, choked him out. I don't really see this fight going much different. I really think he's going to come out and try to trade leather with me, and that's fine. I'll stand up, I'll throw my punches. I'm going to take him down. When it goes to the ground, he's going to get owned.
You know, I've just found out, I think it was today, that they've been switching partners on me because everyone didn't apparently want to fight him. He's got 18, 19 years of wrestling, so I can see why other opponents would be feared. But, you know, let's make me or break me. I've had my ring experience, you know, with the boxing, but going down the ground, we'll have to talk him out of it with the left hand. Tomorrow morning, you'll be going, "Oh, Mama, help me."
And now, first to the cage, from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and fighting out of Team Dirksen, he is trained by Joel Dirksen and Rodrigo Mandaruca in both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. He weighed in yesterday at 158 pounds. He stands 5'9" tall and brings a record of 8 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, with 3 wins coming by way of KO and 4 by submission. Please welcome to the cage, Kevin Mandy Manderson.
Kevin Manderson being led to the ring. You see behind him Joe Dirksen, one of Canada's top MMA fighters, who was victorious in the main event of the King of the Cage Calgary show, Duke. A show that you had the pleasure of announcing, and really a man who's been able to make inroads in the United States and starting to develop an international reputation as well. Tonight we have our first look at Kevin Manderson inside the cage.
Well, Kevin's got a great amateur wrestling background. That's his strength that he's bringing to the cage tonight. I think you're going to look for Kevin to fake a shot, try and take his opponent down, go for submission or ground and pound.
Yeah, Manderson was the 1996 Greco-Roman Canadian national champion, looking to showcase his MMA skills tonight.
And his hometown opponent from Edmonton, Alberta, trains out of Let's Roll Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and trains in both boxing and BJJ under the watchful eye of Kyle Cardinal. He weighed in at 169 pounds. He stands 5'9" tall and brings a record to the cage of 1-0. His only fight coming in his King of the Cage debut in Edmonton. Please welcome to the cage, Michael Il Leone Giracci.
Mike Giracci, a pugilist through and through. Duke has boxed for 17 years, has been in MMA now for about a year, was victorious at the inaugural King of the Cage show in Edmonton, winning via unanimous decision over Jesse Lassard.
This should be a very interesting bout. You got the boxer versus the grappler. So You're going to look for some big bombs and a little Paisan pride from Mr. Geraci.
Yes, and he took up MMA as a dedication to his friend Joey, who passed away. His friend Joey told him that he should take up the mixed martial arts, and now as a tribute to him, that's exactly what he's done. Already 1-0 in KOTC. And now let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Mike Geraci is 31, 5'9", 168 pounds, 1-0 in King of the Cage. Kevin Manderson is 28, 5'9", 170 pounds, making his debut in KOTC.
Follow my instructions at all times. Touch gloves, come on, ring the fight.
Referee Herb Dean gives them his last-minute instructions. So it is Geraci with the boxing background, Manderson with the wrestling background, and there is a very nice-looking background.
How you doing?
So as you mentioned, again, the classic stand-up versus ground game, and we'll see who prevails here at Shock and Awe.
Interesting, they're both southpaws. For you fans at home, that means both left-handed stances. Should be an interesting fight.
Many similarities, actually, to the two fighters.
One's got a better tan than the other.
There's no real distinction between their physiques. I mean, one's both 5'9". Manderson outweighs Geraci by only 2 pounds. There you see Manderson testing the waters early with the jab and a kick.
Geraci trying to dig in.
And Manderson goes for the takedown, and a beautiful one executed by the 96 Greco-Roman national champion. But you see Geraci get a beautiful belly-to-back suplex by Manderson.
Mandy told me he wanted to launch some body bombs.
And that is what he's doing there, as Geraci has the headlock, the side headlock on, and there's Manderson going to full mount rather effortlessly. No, it's on the half guard now.
He tried to pass, but he couldn't.
Closed half guard of Geraci. Just trying to keep him in close. Very defensive right now on the part of Mike Geraci as Manderson has him along the fence.
We're going to wrestler land. We're going to drag him into the cage for a little ground and pound. Geraci needs to put his back on the cage and work himself up back to his feet. Right now he's spun around. He needs to try and get himself worked up the cage, work his back up the cage so he can get back to bombing and doing what he does best.
Wide base by Manderson. Now Manderson on speed. Oh, and a diving left hand delivered by Manderson, and quickly now has top position.
What would you call that, the Superman?
Well, the Superman left hand, and actually taking a page out of the Brazilian playbook. We see Mauricio Shogun Rua do that in pride fighting with his right hand. But again, you're talking about a southpaw here in Manderson.
Good elbow there from Mandy, too. He's just nice little hook. He's starting to beat on Geraci like he stole something. He's making him put it back. Come on, give me that money back.
And a lethal flurry of left hands being delivered by Manderson.
For you fans at home, it's simple. Ground and pound. I hold you to the ground and pound you. For the guy on the receiving end, it is not nice.
And he's doing a good job of holding his head and delivering the left hands. And again, close to the cage like that, Geraci really doesn't have much of an option other than to turn to his right. And now he's just holding on for dear life, it seems.
Absolutely.
And now wing blocking, answering the phone, as my good friend Boss Luton would say. And now it's just simply a matter of time. Herb Dean, the referee, has seen enough. And Kevin Manderson mauls Mike Geraci here at King of the Cage, Shock and Awe.
Yeah, that was just total ownage and domination. The fight was competitive for 1 second. Right after that takedown, it was all Mandy. He went crazy on him. That's the thing. You can be a great boxer, great kickboxer, but if you don't have the ground game, it means nothing. You've got to either stay on your feet, have great takedown defense, or you've got to be able to get back to your feet.
You bring up a good point. Again, this is mixed martial arts. This isn't boxing, as we now go to the Superman left hand incoming.
That was nice. Got some air on that.
And now we take a look at the wrestler, Manderson, the Greco-Roman champion. Look at him, just picks him up double leg and slams him.